enmities are buried in the depth of the time, but some are not forgotten. And the enmity between Chechens and Russians is one of them. Even after all these years, this enmity is still fresh. This historic conflict is actually similar to the situation in Ukraine. Many years ago, Russia invaded many countries in Caucasus region, where the Chechens live in large numbers and persecuted the local population. The local population fought for many years to end the Russian occupation, but without success. After long struggles, Chechnya's leader agreed to subordinate to Russia and thus established his power in Chechnya, but the price of this power was the loss of freedom for the Chechen citizens. This continues to this day, and Chechens are paying the price for Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov's rule by serving in the Russian army. Recently, however, a group of Chechens could not take it anymore and took action and made an unexpected move against the Russian army. So, what are the details of this move? Let's take a look at developments together. As the Pioneer team, we continue to bring the developments regarding Russia-Ukraine war to your screens. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our daily reports and map reports. You can also support me and my friends with the support thanks button below the videos. Thank you for your support, and let's start if you are ready. The Pioneer reports. The war between Russia and Ukraine continues with increasing intensity every day. And the Ukrainian armed forces are steadfastly resisting, trying to prevent further expansion of the Russian occupation and liberate the occupied Ukrainian territories. The Russian armed forces, on the other hand, despite suffering heavy losses at many points, are trying to advance due to the determined insistence of the President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin. At a time when discontent within the Russian army is on the rise, the problems of foreign soldiers are particularly noteworthy. Recent developments confirm the situation. In addition to the Russian citizens, soldiers, it is known that Chechen troops loyal to Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov are also serving in the Russian army. However, these troops are uncomfortable with the current situation of the Russian army, and moreover, Chechen units serving in the Russian armed forces during the invasion of Ukraine claim that they are treated as the second-class people by other units. This situation threatens the internal balance and unity of the Russian army. The recent events in Chechnya have once again brought the tension between the Russian and Chechen soldiers to the agenda. According to reports, a Russian military unit in Chechnya was providing training to Chechen soldiers. However, an unexpected incident occurred during the training session. A Russian soldier verbally insulted the Chechen soldiers and a fight broke out. The incident started when the Russian soldier insulted the Chechen soldiers by calling them Highlanders. Upon this insult, the Chechen soldier asked the Russian soldier to apologize. However, the Russian soldier refused and continued to insult Chechen soldiers. The Chechen soldier could not stand this situation any longer and said the following to the Russian soldier: "You call us Highlanders? But your president needs us. Without us, you could do nothing in Ukraine, and we are Highlanders and you are cowards." The Chechen soldiers' words escalated tensions, and soon weapons were drawn. Both sides, including the Chechen soldiers and those in charge of the training them, took up arms and started fighting each other. At first, the Chechen soldiers had the upper hand, but the situation quickly changed and they were now in danger. They therefore decided to flee and hide, and fleeing into the mountainous regions of Chechnya. This caused an earthquake in Russia. An operation was immediately launched to capture the Chechen soldiers, and Chechnya's President Ramzan Kadyrov remained silent during these developments, but his silence was striking. The Russian authorities were demanding the destruction of the Chechen soldiers, but Kadyrov's silence, according to local sources, angered the Chechen people. But the Chechen people were waiting. They needed more time to finish Kadyrov off. According to sources in the region, Russian Federal Security Service personnel entered Chechnya to capture Chechen fighters who had clashed with the Russian troops. First, the Chechen soldiers were located and found hiding in a cave at the foot of the mountain. Russian Federal Security Service personnel were also stationed around the cave. According to reports, Chechen soldiers were first called upon to surrender, but this call was rejected. Now it was time for war. A furious clash broke out between Chechen soldiers and the Russian Federal Security Service personnel. This clash increased tensions in the region and further complicated the situation. According to information from sources in the region, Chechen soldiers were destroyed during these clashes. In addition, Russian Federal Security Service personnel also lost their lives in the clash. The destroyed Chechen soldiers were handed over to the Chechen state authorities. However, this incident increased tensions between the Chechen people and the Russian Federation. The Chechen people think that these insults against the Chechen soldiers were harsh. Moreover, the Chechen soldiers responded patiently to these insults. Moreover, Chechen President Ramzan Kadyrov's failure to stand up for the Chechen soldiers has also caused public anger. Recently, according to the military experts, there have been significant problems between Chechen soldiers and the Russian soldiers. In particular, the failure of the units within the Russian armed forces to perform as expected on the battlefield and the use of Chechen soldiers as a reserve force has significantly changed the Chechen soldiers' perspective on the Russian army and war. Moreover, another problem arises in relation to the training of the Russian soldiers. Allegedly, Chechen soldiers don't want Russian soldiers to train them. This is because at many points, such as Bakhmut front line, Chechen soldiers outperformed from the Russian counterparts. The reason behind this superior performance is that the Chechen soldiers are already well trained. However, the Russian army aims to assimilate Chechen soldiers like Ukrainians. It is therefore demanding that these trainings to be regulated. However, this leads to high levels of tension. It is the fact that the Russian army needs more soldiers with the active combat experience, or at least more accustomed to difficult conditions, in order to advance on the front line. At this point, the Chechens' combat experience and resilience provide a significant advantage. The harsh conditions of their geography makes them stronger against the difficulties. The situation of the Russian soldiers is different. Many of them are inexperienced soldiers who have been deployed on the orders of the Russian President Vladimir Putin. These soldiers are more vulnerable to difficulties and conditions, while Chechen soldiers seem more resilient. This makes the difference between the Russians and Chechens even more pronounced. So what do you think? Is it likely that the tension between Chechen soldiers and the Russian soldiers will increase? How do you assess the attitude of the Chechen soldiers towards Russian soldiers? How will tensions between Chechen soldiers and the Russian troops affect the Russia-Ukraine war? Let me know in the comments, because I read and I care about all of your comments.